Hey kids, welcome to the Capital Life Podcast. I am your host, Abby Pagud. This is where we talk about all the things that life brings, the good, the bad, and of course, the healthy. And today we're having another episode of Keeping It Real with Real People. I just seem to be collecting all these fun guests to have on, and one of my absolute favorites. Not only does she have her own podcast, she is a freaking whiz kid in all creations. I have never met anybody that's a lot similar than and so it's fun that we actually have similar brains. And she's just so wicked cool. I can't have to tell you on so many levels. So welcome to the show, Nikki Green, the maker of the universe.
I love it. I love just being able to make it free form as to whatever we want. Yeah, we had a blast on my podcast. And honestly, like so many people are already messaging me. They're like, man, that was such a great episode. You guys were just giggling and having a good time.
Oh, yay. Look at that. You know, it's funny because I had it was like the week after I had yours. It must have gotten me all hyped up and busy. And so then I ended up going on like another friend of mine's podcast, and then she came on mine, and we ended up recording 2 episodes because we were having so much fun with it. And then she even made a snide remark about we might have to make another. And I was like, oh, sure. She was like, that would be your 3rd. And I was like, okay, now we might make another. That might be a 4th.
It's just going to be. It's like a Netflix special. It's better.
Well, I mean, seriously, if we get to the point of our mastery to which we like create all these different really cool things, and then it's like, wouldn't it be amazing if things are kind of running on the back door on their end and we're just managing? And then every day, what do? You wake up, you have your coffee, and you record. You just have conversations with your friends and record every day. I think that sounds like a really good life.
It sounds like the dream, man. That sounds absolutely perfect. Let's do this.
Well, today's episode that I didn't even announce is called Toasted, and which I thought was extremely appropriate. I even did not even put any makeup on in cahoots for the energy to which I wanted to permit into the toasted atmosphere. But you literally just got done completing your half marathon like on Monday?
Sunday, yeah.
Sunday. Okay. Well, okay, Sunday, one day off.
Big
Like, so are we toasted? Are we toasted now?
No, that's the beauty of running half marathons and doing all these crazy endurance things, I think, actually, is like, if you do your training right, you have really readied your body for it. And then you get this burst of energy. It's like the race day, you're stretching that rubber band like as far as it will go, but it snaps back in such a way that like all week I've been running around like a crazy person with like 10 times more energy than usual. So yeah, I love this part of it, and we'll see how long it lasts.
Yeah. Well, and it's interesting because it's like, okay, you know, you hear the dreaded tales of, you know, the people that finally made it past the marathon finish line, and then their whole body just collapses, and then they can't move for like 3 days or something. And, you know, and then it's like, okay, you know, that definitely, those stories do happen, but it really is about the training. You know, everyone that's always worked with me for years, they're the ones that are sprinting at the finish line because they were trained to have the reserve so that when they wanted to tap in, they could haul it over. And then they pass so many people on the finish line because they're running on their last resort. And then, you know, like the fuel tank's still going with the others, and then they can still function and smile and still be decent humans in the world instead of like, I ran a marathon, leave me alone.
This episode of The Capital Life is brought to you by Above and Below 1031. At Above and Below 1031, they know how important it is to maximize your investment returns, whether it's above ground real estate or below ground oil, gas, and mineral rights. With 1031 exchange services, you can defer paying capital gains tax, keeping more of your profits working for you. Above and Below 1031 specialize in helping you grow your real estate and natural resource investments without the tax burdens holding you back. Whether you're looking to reinvest in properties or expand your oil and mineral assets, we're here to make it happen. Contact Above and Below 1031 today and unlock the full potential of your investments. Before we dive in, I want to encourage all of you to head over to capitalhealth.com. That's Kapitol health.com, and check out the Capital Health shop. We have all kinds of goodies to tickle anyone's fancy. We have oils to address any ailment issues. We even have gift cards, but more importantly, we have Capital Health swagwear. If you are looking for that shirt that has motivation like be stronger than your excuses, or if you're looking to bring a smile to someone's face with a shirt that says run like your kids are looking for you, go check out the Capital Health shop today. Please like, share, and rate us on whatever platform you're listening. It's how we start to really spread the message of good in the world that needs it so much right now. If you find this helpful or insightful, don't forget to connect with us on Facebook and YouTube at Capital Health. That's Kapitol Health. Also, visit us at capitalhealth.com and subscribe to our newsletter and get wicked awesome updates.
Well, and we learned the hard way a little bit too. When I ran my first marathon, it was in Northern California, and it was 45 degrees, and I was not trained for it to be that cold or dressed appropriately. Also, it said it was like fast. And what I didn't know is it was like rolling hills like the entire way, which I also did not train for. And then I decided I had to fly to Miami for work the next day. So I sat on a plane for almost 6 hours in the freezing, airplane air. But I got out in Miami and like slowly defrosted and like stretched back out. But
yeah, lesson learned.
That.
Yeah, lesson learned. I have a sister-in-law where her mission is to her goal somehow became, it was one, their father had passed, and part of her emotional process with the grief was running and making starting to get the endorphins going and making them starting to feel good again, good in her body again. But then it turned into this obsession to the point where it was like, okay, joining the run club. Oh, there's family within the run club. Then went like, here's the run club. Now she's like a running ambassador. So now she travels and goes to these, health events and does all these fun things, which I love because, it's promoting wellness. But then at the same time, I'm like, wait a second, like where my credentials are, never mind. This, like, here she did her first marathon, then she wanted to do a second marathon, and then somehow it became a goal of wanting to do a marathon in every state.
Ooh, yeah, I've heard that one a lot.
That's like a little crazy, in my opinion. Like, it's a little over a top.
And every time I finish a marathon, I'm like, I'm never doing that again.
And then what happens?
7 times over. I just keep going. I'm not doing that again. And it's not really, it's just the duration, right? Like a lot of things you can do and it'd be like, oh, I'll train for this for a month or two, or I'll start to feel better, like, 6 months or so for a half. But for a full, you really, if you got to stay in shape and stay healthy for a very long time, which is tough to do. Right. And it just, you can't like fall off, like you can't skip a few weeks of running and like still make it. So I think there's kind of a balance of like having a life and running.
Well, absolutely. There's a huge balance of it. But I think predominantly it's really the focus of, it goes into the same category when you're doing like marathons or triathlons or any of the, the mud runners or, the Spartan competitions, or you're going into even the lifting zone or the bodybuilding stuff. I mean, really, it's like, okay, we have all these different ways to, participate in our life experience, to which gives us, here's a game to which we're going to play, and we're going to see how that game plays out and what our experiences are with it, right? Mm-hmm. And so it's like, it's except in this case, people are taking the physical demand of their body. What can they put their body through? What can they get out of it? What are the learning lessons, not just internally, emotionally, but it also like, it creates that drive and perseverance to get to the next level. Right. It's all of the mentality of doing that. But, it's amazing because like even in the beauty of the of that journey, you still get freaking exhausted as shit.
Well, and that's it. You have to balance. And that was one thing, like when I just in the beginning was just running, and you get in the community and they do that. It's like, well, the only thing after running is running further. Like you just keep running, right? And so then I started meeting people that were doing like ultras and 100-milers, and I was like, oh, okay. Like
that's a little over the top. Calm down. Yeah.
And so then I started meeting triathletes, and I was like, oh, okay, well, now we can kind of mix it up, right? Like we can do a little swimming, we can do a little cycling, you know, like you have, but then I was like, man, this is a lot of shit to take everywhere. Like I got to figure out how to take my bike, and like bike needs special shoes, and then you need all this swimming stuff, you know, and then like all of a sudden there was this complexity where like running had such a simplicity to it, like shoes, you know, and you're mostly ready to go. So I think there's a good thing of like switching between sports, switching between the things you do, you know, switching the community as well is just like, what are people going to push you to do? Like you said, it's like, you don't know what you're capable of doing, but then go switch to like, go learn to play violin or something, right? Like there's other things we can do.
Right, exactly. It's like, I mean, you can always have the person that, you know, they love to, you know, do golf for years, but then their rotator cuffs are going bad, or they, you know, like they transition from one thing to the next. Right. And I found it was really interesting because even during my younger years, like when my daughter was, you know, in her baby to toddler years, I actually found that I speed read when I do cardio. And so that was really good for me wrapping up my education and my advanced studies, because I would like I would do either the treadmill or the cycle bike, or I would swim. And I actually once a week, I would do a triathlon sprint. And that was my that like at once a week, I would always I'd have my cardio days, and then I would do, you know, stair on one day, not elliptical, but more like treadmill based another day, and then a cycle bike or whatever. But one day a week, I would always do a full sprint every week. And it was like, I'd go through the routine. Well, I didn't want to have to change. I never understood the order of why you got wet first. That made no sense to me. Like I understand.
Not when you live in hot places. No.
I understand the concept of drowning. Like, oh, you don't want to get a Charlie horse and drown. But like, that's why they have boats and people surveilling. Like, come on. So like, and to me, I'm sitting there like, I just ran and I just biked and got all hot and bothered. I want to cool off. And then cooling off gives me the edge to finish like the thing. So I would literally go from doing, you know, here I would run, and then I would bike, and then I would go downstairs and then change into my suit, and then I'd finish the rest and in all the different things. But it was like, that's how I did. But the only person I was competing against was myself and my time.
Yep.
And there was no orchestration, there was no medals, there was nothing like, but it was just, that's how I like to do. And I preferred the variances because I've got bad knees. Like I have bad connective tissue, I have bad knees. Once I get past like a 6-mile run, my knees just like, and it doesn't matter, you know, what it is, but I found within myself, that's what worked. And I think that that's what it is it's finding the challenges that entertain us in the midst of our life experience. And no matter what age you are, you know, challenging yourself with new obstacles, or, you know, it's no different than going dairy free.
Exactly. Sometimes easier. Like sometimes the diet easier for some of this. You're like, man, there is gluten in everything.
I know. And with me and my sensitivities, I always have to be aware of that. But I mean, like, what are some of like the times in your life that you really felt like the most toasted to, you know, I don't know how much I have left?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, there's been times definitely in my career, and, you know, part of why I left my corporate job was it was just too much all the time. You know, you can work a lot owning your own business. You can work a lot doing, you know, these endurance events, but I had the control of the chaos, right? Like, and that was the thing about these corporate jobs. Is like, there was always, you know, 24/7, things were always going, you could be working all the time. And literally for 1 month, I worked 20 hours a day, like 6 days a week. I slept under my desk. I ate 3 meals, you know, it was just exhausting. And I almost didn't make it. And I knew like I was going to get a new job at that same company as soon as I finished this rotation, but like this was going to be the end of the end. And I really, it was awful. It was just so tough. and I don't recommend it. Like, whenever your corporate job gets to the when you're sleeping under your own desk, you know, and you're not going home, like that's just not mentally like good for you.
That's not sane. Yeah.
Shortly after that, that's actually when I started finding running to like get that balance back of like, I could be at work, but still like go for a run and then like shower up and come back and like find some space for myself and get outside, right? Like being stuck in the thing is not good.
Well, and I think that's sometimes what we forget, you know, it's a lot of times it's like, okay, yeah, I get it. We have our gyms to like be there to get us out of the house and like provide equipment that we may not purchase or use at home or things of that nature, right? But like the thing is that outside makes such a profound impact on us because it's just like not even like the minerals and the metals that are in the soil of Earth, you know, there is scientific proof on how it rebalances our system. And so just walking outside and standing in the grass for 10 minutes of the day, even just getting sun, that makes a profound impact on, you know, feeling connected to self and feeling grounded and really getting to where we need to be, where, you know, that almost gives us some enlightened perspective on what are we doing? What is our balance? Where do we, you know, what do we need to do for ourselves? Because sometimes I feel like we get in that constant state of doing that we're so like pushing through and trying to get through. And it's that rush and craze. And then you can't think clearly. So then it's even more difficult to figure out what that looks like.
Yeah. When I lived still in Silicon Valley, you know, on the weekends, I'd go for trail runs and I just loved it. You know, the varied terrain, you're out in the trees, you're so far away from your computer, phone really only for safety purposes, you know, and just getting away. And a lot of times even we'd be running in a group, but no one's talking, like we're not socializing. We're just all sort of there for camaraderie. And it was such a freeing thing because there's such a time where your mind can't even think because there is varied terrain. So it's like, I got to pay attention to where my feet are. I got to look out for that rock and that root. Yeah. And your mind is, but it is still processing some other problems that you're having. And then all of a sudden that's when like some of these solutions start coming to you of like, oh, here's how I can fix that. Because you let your brain just like on autopilot a little bit, you know, while you do what humans were meant to do, move around, right? Get outside, right? And it's just so refreshing. And I would just feel so good, even if it was like not even that far, right? You don't have to be going far. You could be hiking. You don't have to be running. But I think that connection back to nature and getting us away from devices is so critical for us to keep that balance as much as possible.
Absolutely. I totally agree. And what I find so interesting is the times that I do get that inkling, I don't get the runner's itch that often, but when I do, it's like, I swear it's like every quarter. Like every quarter I get a runner's itch, I run outside, I go, you know, and the nice thing is at least like shape wise, I've stayed in a shape that I can do what I want when I want to, so that it's not hindering me from, you know, like, I can't breathe, you know, like, so, you know, but in Texas right now, it's going to be hit or miss really. Cause the humidity comes and now you're like, come on, is that necessary? That just sounds like torture. But like, so, but it's interesting because every single time that I get my runner's itch and I go for a run, whatever, somewhere right in that 25 to like 35 minutes, I have an epiphany or some kind of profound messaging that comes through. And so then I have to stop and grab my phone, and then I'm sending myself this very long text message so that I remember to put it into my files later. Then it will go into the books of the future to which I create. And, you know, and it's all of those things. And I think you being a mastermind, and how many books do you have now?
Yeah, I just submitted for book number 6. It'll be out later this year. So.
Okay. So clearly someone has got their messaging coming through. So there's much to be appreciated for that. I think sometimes sometimes it's almost like going through the purge or going through, you know, the exhaustion or the place of uncertainty and the unknown, and having to gravitate through that teaches us so much of, I mean, really what to appreciate and have gratitude for ourselves in our process, right? But it's like we don't see it until we get out of it. Like, because I don't know anybody that's going through the shit and they're like, thank you so much for pooping on me right now.
That was amazing. I feel so much better. Well, and some of these problems are hard. They're hard problems, especially like interpersonal stuff, family things, dynamics, that you're trying to deal with. And I really appreciated some of that personal time, because sometimes too, is like people are constantly needing things from you all the time, like always on at work, at home, especially as parents, right? And to just get a little bit of time by yourself to unplug and just do a little bit of your own thing. I think it's fantastic. And it's funny, I used to work from home when I lived in Miami, and I had the same, it was like so damn hot. I'm like, I'm not going out for that long, but I'm going to try to go out for a bit. But there were so many lizards everywhere, like always running across the sidewalk.
It was one of my favorite things. That was like one of my favorite things in Florida. Like
I just called it leaping lizards. Running.
I was so mad when it was like my pets I never had to be responsible for were gone. And I was like, I felt so alone when I moved. I was like, where are my friends? Like, why are they not here? There's nothing more fun than walking outside your front door and there's a gecko just climbing up the wall.
Just chilling, looking at you, saying, what's up?
Don't you have like a chameleon as like one of your symbolic, logos?
That's exactly why. We've had both, the domestic pets of lizards, and we've also had the outdoor ones that weren't our pets, but we still hang out with them. But I've had turtles, I've had frogs, I've had gecko. We have a leopard gecko right now. I've had a bearded dragon.
Gosh, you have a bearded dragon. Those guys are pretty cool looking.
I know. I've always wanted a chameleon as a pet, but when we went to like look at them to like get one, they eat like fruit flies and stuff, and I was like, I really don't want that in my house. Like, I don't want to deal with that.
Well, I would be upset that I wouldn't be able to find them all the time. I'm like, where's Waldo? Like, I would probably have named mine Waldo and then been like, where's Waldo every single day? And yeah. we had a moment where my son, for his, I think it was his 6th birthday, it was like he was saying that he wanted like a turtle or a frog. Like he hadn't come to terms with which one had just yet, but he had found a frog in the summer, and he had named it, and like my daughter was doing a play on words because of, just different times and things of that nature, but like gave it more of a sophisticated, like royalty name of like the 3rd or something. And so then of course, when his birthday came around, it was like, which one do you want, the turtle or the frog? And so he's leaning towards the turtle, and doing the research on how often you had to spritz the frog and do all that stuff. I knew that was going to come down onto me, and I was like, I don't have time for that. Like, we're doing the turtle 100%, where my husband's like having trauma repeated, like, visualization of childhood and his red snapper turtle he had and how smelly they get, and like, all the things. And he's like all pro frog, and I'm sitting here like, I'm the one that would be responsible. I don't have that much time on my hands. And then sure enough, we get this turtle, and then it ends up being named Nemo August 17th Pagud.
Love it.
So like here, it's like, where did that come from? Oh, okay, I understand that like Sissy had named Victor the frog, Victor the frog, and that came from a little bit from Umbrella Academy, from when the one character went from a girl like Vanya to Victor. So then like Victor got changed into the frog's name, and then it turned into a whole thing. And then I realized that he was trying to do like Henry VIII, and then but his birthday was on the 15th, so somehow his name became August 17th Pagud.
All of our animals were named after mostly like 80s cartoons. So we had Megatron, Gem, Lion-O.
Oh my goodness. That's great. Yeah. See, but okay, did you have a favorite stuffed animal when you were a child?
Stuffed animal? I had a blanket. Yeah.
Did you have a name for your blanket? Or was there something particular that, like, would you take it a particular way? Like, what's the one thing that you knew that you always did with that blanket?
Yeah, like I couldn't sleep without it because I moved around a lot and I was always like going in between all my parents' houses. So I
Okay.
always had the blanket with me, like
So
it
it was a
had to be packed.
dependency. It was your dependency blanket.
For sure, yeah. It was like my for sure, like safety blankets, like quite
Okay.
literally.
I had a blanket as well, and it was my mom. You know, she took French in college, and so she loved French literature and all the different things. And this blanket had, I don't know if it had like the French songs written on it, or it just was different colors, and it just looked really pretty. But there was a squishiness that it had that, like, on the comforters of the 80s that they don't do today. And like there was something weird about it. I literally, like, I didn't have, I was old, I didn't have pacifiers and I wasn't like chewing on things, but for some reason I would chew the crap out of the corner of that blanket, like a nervous twitch. And like there was something about the texture of that comforter that I just be like, and so then I just have an entire corner of slobber with it. And it would just be like probably the grossest thing in the world, but it was like, it was so fulfilling. Like,
It's very satisfying. Mine had this like satin top, you know, they used to have like just at the very
yes,
top of the blanket.
yes.
And I would rub it, you know, I just obsessively to help me kind of relax and go to sleep. A lot of times I had nightmares. I was sleepwalking and all kinds of things. And
Mhm.
later on as an adult, I went when I was going to therapy and I was telling him about, you know, these things. He's like, oh, that's called a tiggle. It actually has like a technical term of like a self-soothing technique that you use to calm yourself down. And I have no idea. And I continue to do it to this day. Like there'll be like the lining of like my shirt or something and I will
And
flip
you
it
will go
up.
like that. Interesting.
Yeah. And
I
whenever I'm stressed
constantly
and
go
need to
like
calm.
this.
Mm.
And I notice
With your
my
fingers.
mother does it. Like, like my mother does it. And I, like when she's thinking, she'll kind of, like, and it's only when we're like in deep complexity, like when we're really trying to fathom through or constructively think about something, and you know, like you're distracted and interesting. It's just like it's like a weird thing. My husband, he like, he looks like a meth head when he's in his deep thought, because he literally does the whole like
yeah.
thing. And then I keep looking at him like, would you stop looking like a meth head for me for just like 1 second?
Get him
like,
a little Hannibal Lecter mask and you won't see it.
I make fun of him to all his employees, like all of his weird little quirks. Like, you know, like so when he does that, I'll go up behind him and just like that until he notices, as he's strategically thinking through numbers in his head. Like that's his go-to. And then like he's got a weird thing. He doesn't have issues. He's not a germaphobe by any means or anything, but like because of the industry that he's been in for years, he like, I'm telling you, he crossed the line when we went to the movies. And literally, like, it was one thing for it to be at home. It was one thing for it to exist at home. We turn the cheek. We don't pay attention. It's fine. But then once we cross public barriers, then we've got some issues. And so all it took was going to one date night movie, and he crossed the line, and it now become public. So then I was like, okay, we're going to roll with this. And I'm going to make fun of the shit out of you like crazy. And so I know all of you are so anxious to hear, what is this thing?
What is it?
So my husband had decided to start wearing gloves when he eats things like ribs.
Okay.
Like if you're in a restaurant and you're using gloves in the kitchen, they have gloves, plastic gloves all the time. Well, when he works at work, if he was to eat lunch in the midst and someone had to call him, he didn't want to have time to go wash his hands. So he would just get used to wearing gloves to eat with. Makes sense. Have no problem. There you go. But then you just look like a psycho-germaphobe, especially in public. And then, you know, the defining line for me was when we went out to a movie and you got popcorn, and he dead straight looks at the kid and asks for a pair of gloves.
The kid's like, no.
The kid's like, I'm sorry, what did you ask? And he's like, gloves, like, you know, safety glove, like whatever. And so then the kid's like,
bring your own.
Okay. Right. So then he like gives him the gloves, and he's like confused. And I just looked at him and was like, he just doesn't like getting his hands dirty. And he just kind of looked at me like, almost like, oh, is he a sissy? Like what is he doing?
What is happening?
There's method to his madness. Now, all of this transpired in like 2018. So here comes the great shift, and everyone's wearing masks and gloves. And my husband's like, see, I'm already ahead of the crowd.
Oh,
like, I was like, I don't even want to give that honor. Like, I don't even want.
Well, it makes me think I'm about to have a barbecue as we get closer to like 4th of July and stuff. And I'm just going to have like a whole box of gloves so that people can have, we're going to make it socially acceptable just for him. And you guys are welcome.
Actually, if anything, he'll be like, this is a smart woman. She's got gloves out. Like, she thought ahead. Because why would you not think about that? Because that makes
it totally makes sense, you know.
Right, exactly. And somehow they got into my next subject of, you know, expression of self and how it is taken in society norms, you know.
It's perfect transition because sometimes we do weird things and sometimes you don't realize, like you said, at home it's kind of acceptable. We've grown up with you, we know, you know, we've had years, and then every once in a while you go and do that, you know, unique thing out in the wild and all of a sudden they're like, what the hell is going on?
But usually what I end up finding is that if I find somebody else that like is doing something completely unique or kind of out of the box, I see the genius in it, and then I start implementing, or I'm like, I'm totally taking that. Like
that's mine
I
now.
love this so much, I'm adapting that into my norm. I'm just letting you know. And so like, I mean, like lately, so I've become kind of irritated just of hearing all things like pandemic and COVID and all the words that are tied to the and so I'm tired of having a name for it like that and having it just play over and over in just so many different ways. And it's like a subject that nobody wants to talk about, but at the same time they're like, during this time period, and it's like, you know, it's the elephant in the room that everyone's trying to ignore, but it's still right there. And so like, because everyone's trying to get back to a normalcy, which the joke was, guess what? Nothing's going to be normal ever again.
We move forward, right?
Yeah, exactly. There isn't that, like, everything has changed, like fact, you know. So I actually have now decided that I will no longer use those words. And so now I refer to it as the great shift.
Oh, I like it.
And so I do that because I like it identifying that there was this huge opportunity for growth and expansion within ourselves, internally and physically, where it took us to a place where, one, we realized the relationships to which we were having were not necessarily always serving us in our best interest, or even possibly hindering us for our growth and expansion. In addition to a lot of the busyness that we had in our schedule, because everybody was already so busy to begin with, everything got neutralized. So then people actually started paying attention to quality and like purpose and sticking to where their heart center was, right? Which is such a blessing, because it was this huge purging that we all needed to go through. And no matter what side of the fence that you're on the belief system as to why we were all going through it. And, you know, and I go into the planetary alignments and the different, you know, the new energetic shifts that were coming to, and like putting us into different things, because we've all been going through it together. But I felt like we needed to put more honorary terms to it instead of more empty, hollow, blatant terms. And so
so much negative stuff. I like it.
Yeah. Like, so I just felt like the great shift would be a lot better than, you know, better in honoring that process. And also, it also identifies even, you know, those that we had lost during that time that shifted over to the other side, to the great unknown. And, you know, and I, you know, like I had several people that had lost some loved ones, and it was tragic. But at the same time, it was like, there was something purposeful in the time to which they left, even though it wasn't understood. It was almost like God had been recruiting their energy source for a higher purpose, you know, and it was like, you know, because they were good souls that were, you know, needing to add to the cosmic divine of, you know, fighting these evils of the world that we're seeing play out like everywhere we look right now.
Yeah, exactly. It really does need a better like name because it just has so much negative connotation. And for me personally, a lot of good things happened. And I think for most people, good things happen because they had exactly that. And it's just back to even where we started with the conversation. It was, you have the time to think. You have the time to not be quite so busy, quite so distracted with all these things. And you really make sure that the things that you're doing, your job, your personal life, your relationships, that they are serving you in the way that you want them to do. And if not, then shift to the thing that you wanted. It was up to you to make that choice and then move into what's supposed to be next for you. So I love that. We're going to start using it and we're going to adopt it and it's going to go everywhere.
Yeah. I mean, it was a profound opportunity, and it was a huge. I mean, there's so much beauty in it, but it also goes into the point of, when something's birthing anew. You think about birth in general; it is messy. Birth and death are gross. They are disgusting. Mm-hmm. There's a whole physical process of nastiness internally and externally. Like, there's nothing nice about it. Like, it's just fact. It's just factual, right? And but in that, in that process, in that, I don't know, that weird transitional period, there's so much beauty and light that comes from it. And it's really being able to see, the light at the end of the tunnel and being able to see the message behind the madness. And there's so many times that we get so distracted with the things that are playing out around us that we miss the message.
Right. Yeah. We do way too often because we're just heads down and like you said, busy, just focused on me and what I need and what I'm doing right this second. And I did it a lot. And that was really where being able to just lift my head up and look around and be like, man, I am unhappy. This is not what I want to be doing, and just saying, I'm not going to do it anymore. Right. And honestly, like my grandmother, she was in a nursing home at the time and they just locked her up in a room and wasn't able to go anywhere. And I felt so horrible for her to have to go through that. I mean, all of us were kind of shut down, but at least we usually had somebody, kind of in our sphere of influence. Yeah. And so thinking about like, what is the right way for us to treat people, I think is so important, is like also to shift our mindset about however we dealt with all these different circumstances, is where do we want all of us to go, and to have this shared collective experience, which is so rare and a lot of times only happens in, again, very tragic things like war, when there's like a global thing that really takes us all down. This could be, if we call it something differently and really reinvent it, a place where we all got to a better self, right?
Right.
So I like
that. And what exactly what you said that I love so much about it is, like, you totally understand where my mind goes with this, is because we're sitting here watching this like huge opportunity for growth and expansion. But then it's like, what does it take to get the masses involved? Usually it's something major. It is like a massive catastrophe, like it's, oh, this hurricane just came and took out this whole entire area. Or it's, hey, by the way, like this, we just got attacked at 9/11. And so then everybody starts to unite. And the sad thing is like, sometimes I always wonder, if the shit storms around the world is just like, the great unknown trying to teach us stupid humans the lesson is like, oh, you're being selfish again. Here's a tornado. Like, just to get us back to connectivity.
Yeah. And remember that it is about being together. I think we keep getting so far and far apart, and we have such opportunity to come together. And I think, especially with all the technology, good and bad, like it's good for us to be able to connect no matter what's going on and give to each other, help, provide guidance, whatever all the things are that you can do, that we don't have to be at such a contentious, space. So right. I hope that, we keep trying to do that. And I feel like we're at this space again, like not that far away from the time we're in it. We're way falling apart again. And right. It's making me nervous. And I think it's making a lot of people nervous, as what's going to be the next catalyst bringing us together. And I want it to be something more positive. And I like your idea of like, how can we be more of a catalyst? Like, how could we make something more positive, not waiting for, the winds of the tornado to sweep us up. Right.
Exactly. It's and that's where, like, how do you think that we can create more of a normal? Fantastic. So that was improvement. That was a really big improvement. My like, how do we end up getting society to start normalizing connection instead of creating separation? So like, one of the things I always focus on is like, awareness is the first step to change, movement, progress, etc. Like, just awareness, being aware of it, identifying it. You don't even have to jump into the responsibilities of what do you do with it. It's just fact, hey, I can see that when X happens, I respond this way, and okay, now I'm aware of it. Do I need to do anything about it now? Not sure, but at least I'm honoring the fact that I've identified the situation. But then it's also like, what's the next steps in, like, where's the normalcy to create connectivity within human connection? Because we find ourselves divided. It's like comparison creates separation that leads to division, right?
Yep.
And it's that constant, like, the way that our brain has been programmed and trained over time is to do the judgmental things, right? Like, it's no different than if I go and look at all your posts and your websites and all the fun things you're doing. And I'm like, shit, I haven't read any fucking books yet. I already know I got 8 in the back of my pocket in my brain, but like, I haven't done anything. But then it's like, I've been doing all these other different things. And you might look at my stuff and be like, holy crap, she's doing all these other things, like, but it's like, that's not the point. That keeps us distracted in our methodology. It keeps us distracted in our madness. Like, instead, we need to be like, oh, look, she's a badass bitch like I am. How the fuck can we encourage and like make something even more vibrantly cool?
I love that. And just teaching more people about that. And that's something that I really work hard on in my community, is that we are all here to celebrate each other. And that I really talk, like this morning, my talk was on goal achievement, because too often it's like, hey, I'm setting a goal, but it's because I'm comparing against somebody else, right? And like, they did this, so I want to do that too. And it's like, does that goal even resonate with you? Like, if you make a vision board and you put some fancy car and like fancy house and like, whatever. It's like, okay, but like, is that realistic for your life? Is that what you really want?
Is it in alignment with where you are right now? Like, is it in alignment? Is it something that you're capable of, or is it even something you enjoy? Like, you even pointed out that you finally looked down and realized, I'm not even happy.
Right. Yeah, like, it seems like the thing, because people, there's a lot of outside influences, and we get that comparison syndrome that makes us kind of confused that we want that thing. And it's not that. It's just, we want something better for ourselves. But how do we find that if we don't genuinely spend the time to look inside and figure out what that is? Because I found I don't want a lot of things that other people have. And I want things that are totally crazy, that when I tell people I want them, they're like, why would you want that? Right. And so it's really that, taking that time to sit back and think about what it is and find ways to celebrate other people that are doing something different, even if you don't understand it. Because sometimes you tell people, and then the first thing they want to tell you is, oh, that's not possible, or that's, going to hurt you, or that, whatever, or you don't have enough money to do that, whatever the things are that are in their fear mind. And so I just like really change that first response when people tell you something big. Is like, that's awesome. How can I help you? How can I support you? Right.
Where is that going? How can we make that happen? And it is also, it's like, okay, look, that is what the point is that we may not understand what the other person's messaging is, their mission is, their purpose, any of that. That's not our fucking job. Our job is not to understand. Our job is to listen and create some kind of impact that helps them maneuver in that way. Holding space for somebody as they're in their process of their journey, just to say, oh, look at them in their little paddle pool doing their thing. You go. Like, you just play. Like, and that's kind of where we need to be a little bit more, is like saying, hey, like, I get this image of, all of us have our little sandboxes that we get to play in. And then occasionally we might be able to share the toys in each other's sandboxes, and then sometimes you got the kid that jumps in and steals one of the kids, and everybody wants to hit them in the head with the shovel. And then, like, it turns into another thing, but it's fine. The teacher comes in and settles everything down, and then everybody's playing in their own thing. And then we're just making faces at each other. It's fine. It's okay to be different and unique. And there are going to be people you butt heads with, and there are going to be people that you are the thickest thieves with. But it's like honoring their place in your life story that helped you get to where it needed to be. It could have been that one negative Nancy that said, oh, you can't do that because you don't have the money. Well, fuck you, dude. I'm going to do it from scratch.
Right.
And that was the fire. The purpose was the fire to put underneath you and push you to say, I didn't like that answer.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, and I think holding emotional space for this stuff too, because those of us that are trying to do hard things, big things, different things than we've ever done and pushing ourselves, it's really hard sometimes.
Oh my God, I'm so tired.
Going back to our toasted, right? Is that it's sometimes exhausting, and you can't be at that 10 level all the time, that you do have to cycle off. And sometimes you're going to be in a bad mood, and sometimes you're going to be sad because you missed the mark and you thought it would go faster or whatever all the things
You'll be lazy like I was yesterday.
And it's fine, but that's also hold the space for them emotionally, as be like, okay, you're down today, I'm going to be up, right? And I'm just going to cheer you up in just the most positive way and not guilt you for not doing things or not doing enough. You got enough of that in your own head, right? You need to try to give someone else that energy when they're especially lacking, when they're trying to do these big, tough things that they're going after.
Okay. So, before we come off, because you said it and because I'm the person that asked those weird questions, you said that there was like a list of things that people want that you have no interest in, but there's a list of things you do want that is weird and not understood. What are some of those things? Because I would like to know how this brain is going and what direction I can celebrate with you.
Yeah, honestly, like
even better would be to add to the method of the madness.
For sure. You know, a lot of people are like, oh, you know, I want a big fancy house, or, you know, like I want, like, because a lot of material things don't really resonate with me, for sure. And first thing, like, I swear to, every time somebody shows me like a big house picture and they put it on their vision board or whatever, I'm like, that's just a lot of cleaning, you know. And again, there's like solutions to it of like, I can get a housekeeper and all these things when I'm rich and famous, but it's just like, no, I just,
because I'm like, how the hell am I going to find someone? Like, sometimes it takes me 10 minutes to find my husband now. And I'm like, that's not, I'm going to need motion sensors or some kind of like, if I had a house that big, I'm going to need like, you know, a big security screen with all the red, you know, like, oh, there's a body in that room. Like, so that I know where people are, because I'm not going to want to go everywhere.
Yeah, and even that, like, I need a car. My car is getting a little old and, you know, starting to have some challenges. So my boyfriend's like, you know, making me like go check out all these cars, and I'm like, I don't want that car. I don't want that car. I don't like that car. I don't like. He's like, but it's so pretty and shiny and does all these things and the boobobs and and I like, I don't get it. I don't know. I was like, it doesn't fit my bike. Like, that's my answer. Like, it doesn't.
It's small,
like big,
tiny little things. It's
like Big Bertha
that didn't handle. Yeah, Big Bertha, she's a good old girl. She's so good. She's getting
so
older
these are not the things. Yeah. So I think about these things. I do think a bit about like practical stuff, but for me, like, I want experiences. Like, when I say like I want to travel, they're like, oh, where do you want to travel to? Every place. I want to go to every country in the world in my lifetime, and I want to spend time there and get immersed in the culture and learn every language and, you know, like really better understand people and be able to communicate with them. And people look at that as like, that's that's impossible. Like, you don't live that long, or like it's too much money, or like whatever all the things are. Right. And it's like, no. Like, at some point this will be possible. We'll have little Star Trek communicator things or whatever. And like, we'll be able to communicate and talk to each other. Like, and
they already started with marketing in the last couple of years, because everything went virtually. So like, how many times have I jumped on a meeting and I'm talking to Australians and freaking Toronto, people from Toronto? Like, when would I normally be, you know, talking to somebody from Australia outside of my energy healer, who ironically her and her sister are from Australia. But like, anyway, my point. Clearly now Australians are starting to flock to me now, and it's a kind of fun energy, because they say some weird shit that I really love, and like,
they've got some good quirky sayings. Yeah, my best friend is Australian, so I just love it.
Yeah, but like, I mean, like, that's the thing, is like, there's a culture base behind that is awesome to learn about. The way that, like, even my husband's culture is different. Like, you know, he's Marshallese, Hawaiian, and Samoan. So like, there's different types of islanders and behaviors and dancing and music and dress and all those different things. So like, you know, and I got a bedspread that I loved because it had more of the island aspect to it. And then it comes in the mail. And so I set it up and like, I'm all excited about it. And he's like, oh, it's touristy. And I was like, well, you know what? A lot of the authentic ones I didn't like.
Well, and that's it. You know, it's like the more we learn, the more we understand. And, you know, that's the way we can better connect with people. And for me, it is about experiences and like getting to know people. I'm a super extrovert. So like I need to be around people, and their energy gives me energy, just like every time we're together, that like we ping pong off each other. And it's so great because it just gives me not just energy like in our conversation, but like for the next thing that I'm about to do. And
Right.
and I love that. And you know, like fitness wise, like I want to go to like 5 different gyms. I want to like, I'll go over here and do Pilates and go over here and do this. And you know, and hey, I've
do what
tried
you want
these
when
other
your body
races.
wants it, not be stuck to, oh, it's the same regimen over and over again. We need variability. Variability provides us insight in the times of our life when we're going through all these different ups and downs and we're trying to process. We have to do different types of movement to reflect the same. If you're prone of like constant headaches, sometimes doing just even a reaching just to get blood flow and ranging your body outside, it helps open up the pathways and circulation so that it helps minimize some of the tension headaches. You know, it's not like there's different things we have to do. Sometimes it's just taking a fucking nap. Like, just like, I love naps. My daughter calls them wastes of time, but because she, you know, that's how mommy regenerates. But I cannot wait till that becomes not an issue for her. And she was like, oh, are we having another experience of wasted time? Like, or is it regeneration?
Before we dive in, I want to encourage all of you to head over to capitalhealth.com. That's KAPITOL health.com, and check out the Capital Health shop. We have all kinds of goodies to tickle anyone's fancy. We have oils to address any ailment issues. We even have gift cards, but more importantly, we have Capital Health swagwear. If you are looking for that shirt that has motivation like be stronger than your excuses, or if you're looking to bring a smile to someone's face with a shirt that says run like your kids are looking for you, go check out the Capital Health shop today.
Like,
yeah, it's necessary. And like you said, it is phases of life. And this is it, is like, I don't even know some of the things I want to do, but I can feel it. Like when someone tells you about something and you're like, that's crazy, I like it. Like I want to do it. I want to be it. I want to see it, you know?
yeah.
So for me, that's a lot of it is, I think it's a lot of it is that difference between like, not necessarily those material things and having, I want safety and security, you know, and some good food to eat and drink, but
Right.
you know, overall, it's like, I just want to go do shit, man, like all the time. I want to have that energy to be able to go and explore the world until I cannot move my body anymore.
That's awesome. That's such a cool way to think about it. And, you know, one of the things I was having a conversation with the other day, and I don't even remember who the person was or when the conversation happened. We'll find out if it's a repeat offender. But the conversation was really talking about, you know, when, you know, like when you started your company, when I started my company, there was like this genius energy about it. But at the same time, it was also flooded with insanity, right? Like it was like, what the hell am I thinking? Where the hell did this come from? But then it's like every time you even felt into it, you knew it was gold. It would give you the goosebumps. You knew you were onto something. And then, you and I are very much of, you know, we feel it, we got to do it. We don't know why. We just have to see where it rides, you know, and that's where we put it back out. But I had somebody ask me, you know, how I continued to like go through it. And it was a really good question because I don't normally, out of all these years I hadn't been, the way that it was phrased, I had not been asked that question. And I was kind of like, good one. Like that surprised me. Touche. Let's first applaud stumping me for a second. And it's like, because usually I got an answer for everything. And I was like, huh. And it was it was the energy of other people realizing my vision, not fully understanding or comprehending what it amounted to or all that it entangled, because I had the whole thing and like they can only hear a small percentage of it, right? They can only understand a very minute part of it, because our vision's so big, but also when you're creating things that don't exist, it's very hard to understand where that person's going. But it's like you create this dream vision or this dream world to explain it to people, and then once you explain it, their energy and the place that they go to, the relief, the excitement, the exploration, almost even the like, I get to live vicariously through you because I'm not a risk taker, like that energy. That is what kept me going all these years. And it wasn't until that question was asked a couple of days ago that I was profoundly aware of, holy crap, it was the energy of other people in hopes of my vision of what it would amount to, and knowing and trusting what I could do with it, that kept me in my method of madness and mastery all this time.
That's it, right? It's just that little bit of that inkling of like, I kind of see where you're going. Like they still have that you're crazy look in, like,
Oh, totally.
They're not sure what's going on. But I get this a lot. That sounds great for you.
I don't want to do that. Okay, so you know what I do when I start to get that face? I ignore the face and continue with my stuff and all that, because I only like handled this amount. And so then like I only had explained this amount. And then when they get the face of like, and then I go straight, I just plow through that phase, and then I continue forth, and until they get to the point of, how the hell do you even have time to sleep? And then I'm just like, oh, are you kidding? Sleeping's my favorite.
I sleep really good because I get it all out during the day.
If I don't sleep, I don't function the next day, and then the whole day is shot. So like sleep is my coping skill.
Well, and that's why I have the chameleon, because I always really said this was never going to be just sort of one thing, one idea. It is the evolution so that I can continue growing and adapting myself, my business, how I help people because of what they need. At the end of the day, I can sit here in these four walls and think I'm a genius, but until I go out and connect with people and actually make that thing happen, it really doesn't matter. It's not a business, it's a hobby.
Touche. Where can people go to find you and see all things awesome about you?
Well, the Nikki Green 360.com, the Nikki Green. She is everywhere and then some. So if you want to check out Abby's episode on my podcast, if you want to read any of one of my many proliferation of books, or just watch me dance on TikTok, any of those options are good.
And your podcast is called Stand Up.
Stand up and stand out.
Yeah, there you go. So like, and I was like, I knew it was a ball buster, and I was like, and I was just like, and we're just gonna shine ourselves to the world, because you are fantastic in your interviewship when you have people on. You're even great at getting all the great messaging collaborated into one. But even more importantly, I love the method of your madness of creating spaces for people to do what they need to do. Like even how it's, hey, you have someone that wanted to write a book and they don't have the time at home. So it's like, okay, 3-day retreat done. And then they go and then they have it finished. And so there's so many different things, useful things. And then next thing you know, it's like someone requests something else and then you create it. And so I have a profound respect for that, especially because I do that in my own crazy way of writing and creating things that don't exist. And it's how we fill the holes of what's missing in the world. And then it helps us get the rest of the messaging, because, there's a lot of messaging out there that's not being shared and told, and it needs a voice and it needs a place to exist. So I commend you, friend, and all your chameleon angst. And thank you so much for being on The Capital Life today. I appreciate you.
Can't wait to rock and party again with you next time I'm in town or next time you're here. Either way.
I know. I think there's a reason why we both did not hit the same time in different places, because I have a feeling we would be in trouble a lot in like our marriages.
Definitely a lot. We'd be just having such a good time, and the rest of the world would be like,
you wouldn't know how to compete or what to do, and then we would just be like dancing in fountain puddles like they do on Friends, and it's fine. So
absolutely, we've got our own sitcom. We were already talking about.
We did. I totally forgot about that. I can't wait. Okay, yeah, we've got a lot of things to do. Okay, well, thanks for being on the show again. I love you. Like, have the blessed week, and then we're gonna have you on the show again soon, like very soon. So
fantastic.
Thanks for joining me today on The Capital Life, where we talk about all the things that life brings. Join me next Saturday as our subject is proper perspective. Don't forget to like and subscribe and follow us on YouTube and Facebook at Capital Health. That's KAPITOL Health. And please like and share with your friends and family. The Capital Life is available on all podcasting platforms except for Pandora, and you know why. Our goal on The Capital Life is to provide a safe place to get information when it comes to your health and wellness, especially when dealing with all of life's phases. Remember to take care of yourself, because you're somebody's everything.
Don't forget to like, subscribe, and follow us on YouTube and Facebook at Capital Health. That's KAPITOL Health. Please share with your friends and family. The Capital Life is available on all podcasting platforms except Pandora. Our goal at The Capital Life is to provide a safe place to get information when it comes to your health and wellness, especially when dealing with all of life's phases. Remember to take care of yourself, because you're somebody's everything.